thief in the night, and he's off to score. Well, John Davidson hangs his head in disgust. But as he was trying to defend himself against the tacklers, Potter just simply took the ball and off he went for a try. Quite unexpected, I might say.
When you're held in a tackle, the most important thing is you hang on to the ball, even if your head was getting ripped off. But here, Davidson fought in the tackle rather than just sitting down and taking it. He tried to fight his way free, and he was milked of the ball by Mick Potter. You can see he put his hands in here, and he comes away with it. There's no defence at home, and it's just a matter of shut the gate as Potter crosses the line, and over he goes for Canterbury's opening points.
Well, Canterbury absolutely needed that try. It was... This is Gillespie. Ooh. Good tackle by Brooks. Two of the game's hardest tacklers. Elias, nice step. In and away. Steve Mortimer over the halfway. Terry Lamb's with him. So is Elias. Good work by John Elias. That'll be play on if Canterbury get the ball. It's still play on. It's going to be a try.
Right-hand side, it appeared that they didn't have an overlap at one stage, but once Gillespie was able to stand in a tackle, he shifted the ball on. It then went to Callanan. Callanan showed a little bit of an in and away. That was enough to beat Connor. Alexander came across and missed him pointlessly in cover defence, and Callanan scored a great winger's try.
Matthew Callanan. Johnston back into exactly the wrong thing. All he had to do was fall on it and cover it up. Instead of that, he tried to pick it up in a spectacular fashion, and he's paid the dearest penalty.
Parramatta did everything.
Let's take a sideline comment. Graham Hughes.
Yes, Ray, just one thing about the Canterbury forwards. When they're taking that ball up, they're taking it up by themselves, one out. They're not putting any pressure on that defensive line at all.
Andrew Farah making a good run of about 20 metres, tackled by Ella. Here's Campbell, out and away from dummy half very quickly, another gain of 10 metres. And now it's Bugden. Bugden! Yes! Oh! Shades of a try he scored in the 84 grand final. Shades, a replica. Mark Bugden, he came out and away from dummy half. He followed upon good runs from Farah and Campbell, and he was able to go in and score for the Canterbury Bankstown team, taking them to an 8-6 lead. And here's the Foster's Lager replay.
Bugden sniffed out a try that didn't look like it was there. Mosley should have gone in and tackled a man in possession of the ball. Bugden ran into the little hole. You can see it's that hole almost just behind the play of the ball. A couple of Parramatta players missed. Jerb was the second. Taylor couldn't stop him from going over, and that's a vital try.
Played by Atkins. Now Sterling. Here's Bugden. He's put it on the ground, so it's pressure now for Parramatta. This is Potter, tackled by Taylor. Back to Campbell. He's tackled 20 metres out, right in front of the uprights. Now it's Langmack holding it back. Out it goes to Potter. This man is Farah. They've got the numbers. Farah gets a pass away, and Peter Mortimer strolls over for a try. Points all in the NEC big game. Canterbury throwing it around, players wrapping around, creating extras, and Peter Mortimer eventually was left unmarked as Eric Groth had gone in to take, I believe it was Paul Langmack.
The Parramatta defence has started this second half as it finished the first half. They're allowing Canterbury to stand in tackles, and here they paid the price, with Farah standing up, slipping the ball back onto Peter Mortimer, who went round to improve his position. Take them forward 10 to 15 metres.
Kenny making the error. Tunks with the ball. Farah. And it's Terry Lamb who picked it up on the half volley. They'll go all the way, I think. Potter knocked down by Parramatta. Play on, and it's a try. try to Canterbury Bankstown. Try scorer, I'm not sure. I think it was Michael Potter. Let's have a look at the replay. There's no question that it's a try. Beautifully picked up by Terry Lamb on the half volley. Peter Mortimer went one way, then the other. Michael Potter it was who got the ball over. It's Peter Mortimer who scores the try. And there it is.
Well, there were some great rugby league skills in this try. The offload in the tackle, and Lamb scooped up a ball that was in an almost impossible situation. He threw the dummy, waited for support. It came in the form of Potter. Potter tried to drop a pass over the top. A Parramatta hand touched it. Sterling tried to clean it up, but he was too late.
Andrew Farrer capitalised on the work of Peter Tunks prior to him handling the ball. Let's wait and see this ball as it is touched in flight. I think it was Steve Eller, actually. And Peter Mortimer picks up what could well be the match-winning try. 2 tries to Peter Mortimer. Turned inside nicely by Dunn, and outside it comes now. Chris Mortimer inside for Terry Lamb, over the top, touched by Parramatta. Hagan gets the ball away to Dunn. The referee didn't start the tackle count again.
This is looking ominous for Parramatta. Canterbury at the moment just too big and too strong.
Tunks 3 metres out from the Parramatta line. Bugden looking for a try that he's almost come to believe is his entitlement against Parramatta. Peter Tunks from dummy half has scored Canterbury's 3rd try. We'll tell you, you've got to do the simple things well. And that's exactly what they did. Just a quick pass, a quick play of the ball. And then it went from Mortimer, a short ball, to a man coming from deep on the fly, Sigsworth, and straight under the uprights.
Sigsworth pushed through a tackle in the first half to set up Peter Mortimer's try, and here he did exactly the same thing and scores under the black dot.
27 years of age and 26, formerly with the Balmain club, Bilbidger. And Lamb goes away with it, making a big run inside the 32 and the 22. Brett Clark comes at him, he runs away from him. And Terry Lamb goes in to score his own try. Well, the way Bilbidger was carrying the football, or the way he was hanging onto the football, there was every chance that Canterbury were going to take it off him. And that's exactly what Terry Lamb did. He goes up, Dunn gets under him with Terry Lamb. The ball is just sitting up there like an ice cream on a cone. And Terry Lamb takes it off him and then runs the best part of 50 metres. Brett Clark tried to run him down, but Lamb is away and running. Another try to Canterbury.
There's not much Terry Lamb can't do in a game of football. He can tackle, he can run with the ball, he can kick, he can goal kick, and here he shows that he can even steal the ball if it's there for the taking. It was, Lamb pinched it, Clark gave chase. He was never going to get to him, really. Lamb's a good broken field runner in those situations. He's got a bit of a step, and he comes up with a very good individual try.
Out of desperation, more than frustration, probably. This is done. And Canterbury coming up with the ball on the turnover on the West 22. So a great opportunity for them to extend the scoreline even further as Gillespie gets it off to Terry Lamb. He's inside the 10. Steve Mortimer backs him up, and Steve Mortimer goes in to score another Canterbury try. Well, Graham Hughes, being a state cricketer of years gone by, not too many years gone by, this pitch at the cricket ground must be playing very placidly. What was it, 70 odd yesterday without the loss of a wicket, and 46 tonight, and still no wickets have fallen.
Well, I think next Monday night, whoever wins the toss should bat.
Well, it was a good ball put on here by Gillespie, wasn't it? Gillespie got round Crook's tackle, stood in another one, got the ball up to Lamb. Lamb's a great backer-upper, there's no doubt about that. He got the ball back inside to Mortimer, who puts the ball firmly down over the try line.
So there he is, Steve Mortimer. What a great footballer he's been. 29 now. Steve Mortimer and now Kelly. Little short ball away, and look at Gillespie go. Over over the halfway, finds support in Sigsworth and Langmack. Langmack runs out of extras. No, he doesn't. He finds Dunn. Back it goes for Langmack. Langmack looking for support to try and keep it alive. 30 metres out. Centre of the ground. Big run by Gillespie. Terry Lamb. Long ball. Folks, short pass. Farah. Down the line goes Peter Mortimer. Tackled by Schubert. Not into touch. Good piece of work there by Peter Mortimer. Kelly. Kelly, 5 metres out from the line.
That's where they've won the game, Canterbury. That hard work up the middle.
Kelly's getting up to play it. 5 metres out. Steve Mortimer, grubber kick. Oh, and a beautiful bounce for Langmack. It hit a Western Suburbs player, Alan Fella, came off his chest, landed on its point and bounced into the chest of Paul Langmack. When things are going your way, it seems that, well, it came off the head of Petherbridge. It was a beautiful header by Rod Petherbridge, straight into the arms of Paul Langmack, and the poor old Maggies, and I must admit I feel a bit sorry for them. As I said earlier, when Schubert brought the ball back, he's probably saying, fancy copping this mob playing like they are tonight. Now, that's Peter Johnston playing the ball now. Kelly is gone. This is Boyd. Billy Johnston. About 8 metres out from the line. Canterbury's still unable to crack the half-century. Can they do it here? Steve Mortimer's grubber kick. It came off the hands of Petherbridge. That's a try. Yes, that's a try to O'Brien. No question about it. 52 points to 4 in favour of the Bulldogs. O'Brien, the try scorer. Steve Mortimer with all the time in the world. It came off the arms of Petherbridge back into the in goal. That didn't help Des Drummond one little bit. And O'Brien picks up another try. When you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. Mortimer simply tapped the ball ahead here. A horror bounce for Petherbridge. It kicked up in his face. He couldn't hold it, and all O'Brien had to do was fall on it. I mentioned earlier Steve O'Brien, who was a member of that Canterbury Grand Final team in '84, wasn't it?
Billy Johnson. So East's having to do the hard yakker again. Gillespie, Gilmister and Trevor Patterson going in with Hastings. On the blind, Langmack, Robinson, Brendo for the corner. He's got it down. He's in. Brendo scores the try. It was neatly engineered by the Bulldogs. Very simple, fundamental stuff. And Brendo finished it.
Certainly was. Mortimer started this by a little fake to the open side and a switch to the blind. A good play by Robinson, who probably found himself having to rest in the centre position and finds himself feeding the last pass. Mortimer, beautiful long ball out there. Langmack switched onto Robinson, and Robinson, rather than bullocking his way through, and that's what wingers are there for.
Steve Mortimer. Johnson with Hagan. That's Sigsworth. He's made a bit of a bust. Here's a chance for the Bulldogs. Hagan chasing it, and he's going to give it a try. Now, he could have been offside. We'll have a look at the replay there. But Hagan scored the try. Good work by Sigsworth to bust the line. A clever kick. And just have a look at this.
Certainly was good play. Lincoln from the full-back just gets it away from the jersey tug. And I think he should have passed here. He was drawing the full-back. He had the inside. Hagan was inside. And quite frankly, that was touch and go. The referee cooling. He certainly had no problems with it. A beautiful long ball out wide. He just, neat handoff, just couldn't get him down. And it's at this point, he draws a full-back. He should have passed inside. And that really is a 50-50 decision. It's gone the Bulldogs' way. Second try.
Michael Hagan backing up well. He threw the pass, and Sigsworth, stretching, got through the defence. Sigsworth, straight up the middle. Good stepping away. Chalice coming across. Portlock's there. Wasn't any support there for him. Steve Mortimer, they're looking good here. That's done. Over the top, O'Brien. O'Brien plays for the corner. Here's Hastings in cover with French. And Hastings gets him just in the nick of time. Otherwise, there was another Bulldogs try. End to end. Hagan. It's still on here. That's done. Went backwards. Kelly. Canterbury all bunched on the blind. It's Johnson on his knees, grovelling to the line. Mortimer's ball. Robinson, yes! Steve Mortimer, a bullet-like pass to the man who was coming forward like a stampeding rhino. It was Jeff Robinson. Look at him go. Rash! And scores the try.
Good play by Mortimer. Beautiful pass here. And this is how a forward should run under the ball. Low projection. Reaches out. He's certainly done him good.
Canterbury feed. Mortimer with Langmack. Couldn't quite get there. Right on the line, the Bulldogs. Mortimer goes his in. Well played, Mortimer. It's hard to beat that. A hole opened up just right for Mortimer, like a bunny rabbit, to slip through. There he is. Look at that.
Good thinking by the skipper. A real desperation effort. And good work by Langmack before, not trying to do a double movement, giving his side the chance for this try to come. And all the years of experience, well, certainly paid off there. They expected a long ball.
Some pressure here for North Sydney. And Sigsworth is tackled again very close to the line. They've got a big back line to the right, and they hit Robinson up on the blind. Oh, how easy. He went straight through Brett French, the centre three-quarter. Well, the good coaches will tell you the first thing you've got to do is do the simple things well. And Canterbury did that exactly the way it came out of the manual. And Brett French had no idea in the world how he was going to contend with this big, hard-running second row, front row forward, Jeff Robinson. 4 points to Canterbury.
This was a very well-engineered try. Well set up by Canterbury. They got themselves into the field position they wanted. Mortimer skipped out of dummy half, threw the pass across the face of one player and on to Jeff Robinson.
He's only 20. Steve Mortimer. Langmack. Off a North Sydney hand, scooped up by Farah. Here goes Lamb, he's around Bella, he's inside the 22. Mortimer rakes it back, and Canterbury have got 6 more tackles. Again, it was touched by North Sydney. Mortimer goes to the blind side, the long ball to Terry Lamb, and there's a Canterbury try, scored by a magnificent combination of Steve Mortimer and Terry Lamb. North Sydney absolutely run ragged here by these small Canterbury players. Mortimer and Lamb, they kept it alive, they engineered it, and they finished it off.
This try is the result of pace of playing the ball, pace of thinking, and pace of passing. A beautiful ball by Mortimer to Terry Lamb, and of course he did the rest.
Here it is again, as Terry Lamb will come straight down the barrel of this corner camera. Nothing more to be said, but Canterbury simply kept the ball alive, made the ball do the work. And this fellow, Terry Lamb, the best supporter of the ball carrier. Tomorrow, the New South Wales Board of Directors will sit and discuss, and I believe will come up with their recommendation as to the number of teams that will compete for the Winfield Cup next year. Of course, the 3 alternatives are 14 teams, as is. Ball stolen by Lamb, away to O'Brien, heads for the corner. Oh, that's a good try. You can talk all you like about what happened to the North Sydney defence, but I'm going to tell you from Steve O'Brien's point of view, that is a strong winger's try. Lamb took this ball away from Les Kiss. He darted a couple of paces in towards the corner, and then O'Brien has 3 defenders coming at him. He holds off MacArthur. And the other two, well, he beat them as well. And that's a very strong winger's try.
Lamb's got the knack of being able to pinch the ball in the tackle. He got it onto O'Brien. O'Brien was hit. He went through 3 defenders and charged over. This is a great try.
I can see Chicken Norton as I look down, coming out of the grandstand. He's going down to the bench. He'd be a very disappointed coach in this try being scored. But I'm looking at it on the positive side from O'Brien's point of view. That's as good a try as he's going to score because of the fact that he was able to withstand such... Well, he had little room to work in and he was able to beat a couple of the tackles at the same time. 21, a bricklayer, and the Moorebank Ram. Well, he might normally have stood. Lamb in and around and outside the 22. A big fend then by Lamb. Inside for O'Brien. He's away from the second row forward. The fullback is chasing. I don't like his chances. O'Brien is heading for the corner. And it's Canterbury Bankstown with Steve O'Brien scoring his second try. Terry Lamb was the man who set it up. Little Baba, he's having a blinder of a game. Steve O'Brien scores his second try. Well, what is there in the game of rugby league that this little fellow can't do? And there he is. He set it all up. He fended off a forward as though he was getting rid of an opposition halfback. And then Steve O'Brien went for the longest point on the ground and picked up his second.
Well, Terry Lamb has got it all. He was able to push off a tackle, found his way through a little hole. But let's give a lot of credit here to Steve O'Brien. I thought he timed and positioned his chop back inside to perfection. He took the ball on the fly. Conlon, the North Sydney fullback, had the angle on him. And for a while it looked as if he might have stopped him short of the line. But O'Brien's got plenty of pace and he was able to go on with the job.
Steve O'Brien scores for Canterbury Bankstown, try number 5.
Set sail for the try line, but I'm sure he was looking to give someone else a try and it just didn't come off.
Florimo's drop kick is taken back by Farah towards the 22 line. Smeton put down by Hanson and Jones. Across to Steve Mortimer, now to Lamb, done out wide, and gets it away for Sigsworth, inside. It came off a North player, and Terry Lamb backing up, scores his second try of the day. Sigsworth is injured for Canterbury. That was a great piece of football. With tremendous work here by Paul Dunn. Sigsworth just trailed him through. It came off the hands as he passed inside of Florimo, and Lamb picks up the try right under the uprights.
Well, Lamb threw a pass in this backline move, and it was the second one after Mortimer. Of course, what he did after he threw the pass, and this was a beautiful ball by Dunn onto Sigsworth, was Lamb then set off down the centre of the field. He realised that the ball was going to come back this way if the break was made. It came off a North Sydney hand, but the ever-present Lamb was there to finish it off.
Here's a beautiful pass by Paul Dunn. Sigsworth was running exactly the distance behind him that he needed to be, positioned himself well, and here's what Bill was talking about. Lamb said, well, what goes out wide has to come back into the middle eventually. I'll back up in here in case I'm required. That's exactly what happened. Here he is with the...
Well, this is going to be a very important part of the game for South Sydney now. Down to 11 men. Canterbury will try to move the ball about. Souths have got to try and hang on till they get someone back on the field and match it with numbers with the Bulldogs.
So Robinson plays it. I'm watching Phil Gould over on the blind. He's going up very quick as Canterbury put a succession of passes together, and O'Brien goes in to score the first try of this clash between Canterbury Bankstown and South Sydney. Well, at last we've seen some football. There's been some huge tackling, I'm not denying that, but it's been sprinkled between the altercations, and then Canterbury, they chained together several short passes, several well-directed passes, and O'Brien was the man who goes in to score wide out on the hillside of the Canterbury's Belmore Sports Ground.
Well, this was always going to be the play when Souths were a man down. Canterbury spreading the ball out wide, but it was a very well-engineered try. Langmack committed himself very late into the attacking line to make the extra man. He spun a pass onto O'Brien, and he charged over for the try.
Here it is again as it was fed by Hagan. It was a short ball given by the player just in front of Langmack, I must admit to missing him. And then O'Brien goes in I'm sure the ball was grasped in the in goal before his feet went over the touchline, and this 21-year-old bricklayer picks up yet another try for the Canterbury Bankstown club. 20 metres out, back to the left, and Langmack to Dunn. Dunn stands, looks to give it, but no runners. Ball played 10 metres out from the south line. Mortimer goes blindside, quick passing, infield goes Frendo. That's a try for Canterbury. Yes, this young replacement who came on for Sandy Campbell at half-time, Glenn Frendo, has gone in to score.
This try was beautifully engineered by Steve Mortimer. He read that South was short on the blind. He switched back from the open. He picked up the supports. Glenn Frendo had a lot of work to do himself. He went over one tackle, threw another one, and came up with a try.
Canterbury on the way back, down by 10 points to 8. Kick to come. But as Bill said, this little fellow, Steve Mortimer, was standing open side. He counted the numbers on the blind side, and basically he said to himself, if I run to the blind, that'll give us 3, and they've only got 2. And that's exactly what happened, and Frendo was the man who happened to be the extra.
I think Warren Ryan's given a few of these forwards a rocket at half-time.
Played back to Hagan, away to Langmack. Langmack goes for the line. He can see it, but he can't reach it. Langmack to play it. That's the third tackle for Canterbury. Tunks might have a go himself. He does. He gets the ball out the back. Steve Mortimer dives over. Steve Mortimer is under the crossbar. Big Tunks, as we've seen so often from him, he had a go himself. He couldn't make it. Got the ball back for Mortimer.
Tunks tried to use Langmack as a shepherd here. He rolled off the Parramatta defence, slipped the ball back to Mortimer, and he speared over under the black dot. Stevie Mortimer, the try scorer. Terry 12 metres out from the St George. Guide has made 10, has he? 10 tackles, 17 minutes gone in the match. Now Walsh makes the tackle on Bugden. And here they come, Canterbury hitting the blind side. Langmack, it's a try for Farah. Oh, St George. They absolutely fell apart on the blind side. Andrew Farah. He got a beautiful ball from Langmack, I do believe. And he strolled in. Well, they quite simply didn't mark up one-on-one. I think if you notch one up for the coach here, he must have read St George were going to be short on the blind. It was a crisscross move. Langmack was the man that floated around the back. He made the extra man. You'll see him here. He drew the winger, who was Morris, fired the ball onto Farah, and Farah was able to plunge through. Andrew Farah scores the try for Canterbury Bankstown. Fed and won by Canterbury. Mortimer comes the open side. He's tackled 2 metres out from the line. Another great chance for Canterbury as Dunn goes towards the line. Mark Bugden's the dummy half. St George with 4 players on the blind side. Bugden has a go himself. Played, and Tunks goes from dummy half, gets over the line, and it's a try. Peter Tunks has got the ball down. How many tries has Peter Tunks been able to score from dummy half? Well, Tunks is a specialist in his position, but he got a lot of help from Mark Bugden. He took 2 or 3 George players out of the play. He made a hole for Peter Tunks, and he charged through it. Yes, it's something that we've grown accustomed to seeing from Canterbury. We saw it in the grand final. He's a courageous little fellow, Chris Guyder. Johns, ball coming, bursting out of the tackle, and Chris Mortimer is going to go all the way and score. So the tackle was on, the ball came ricocheting out of the tackle. Chris Mortimer got the most favourable of bounces and went in for one of the simplest tries one of the 3 brothers will ever score. Here it is. It was Chris Johns tackled. The ball simply came from his grasp, and Chris Mortimer only had to catch it on the bounce and race in behind the uprights.
16-4.
Canterbury took a bit of a risk here. They were spreading the ball in their own quarter, but you see here the benefit of strong defence. It's got a lot of advantages, and one of them is that this can happen. The ball was jolted free. Chris Mortimer was on the spot, and he goes in to score the try for Canterbury that I think is going to seal this match and possibly a spot in third position in the semi-finals.
16-4. Chris Mortimer, the man scoring the try. He's doing a lot of tackling. Well, good quick passing by the forwards, linking up with the winger O'Brien. He comes to the 22, he kicks, it came off the hands of Macklin Shaw, and Terry Lamb. Mr. Terry Lamb, Esquire, goes in for another try, simply because he follows the football. It stands to reason if you stay somewhere close to the football, you have got a greater chance of scoring tries than the fellow who stands back and simply barracks for one of his colleagues. Have a look at it. Steve O'Brien uses the kick to beat the last line of defence. Macklin Shaw throws his hands in the air, gets a touch, and automatically puts the ball onside. And Terry Lamb, even though he was behind the kicker anyway, he staggers over the line. Little Baba Lamb picks up another try.
Greg Mackey missed a tackle here in cover defence. He came across to take O'Brien, but O'Brien's got a very good fend. He used the right hand there to push him off. This was one occasion that I would condone the kick ahead. He couldn't get a good pass away. Lamb came through after the ball was touched, and that try by Terry Lamb, the best support player in the game, now makes him the leading point scorer in the Winfield Premiership.
It's a bit of a blow for you, I know, but you'll find there's ups and downs in life. That's only a minor dipsy-doodle, old boy. Bugden, Lamb, Hagan, Farah, O'Brien going for the corner. Oh, easy! Oh dear, Chris Macklin Shaw had him in his sights. He had the sideline to help him. But Steve O'Brien went, well, he put a little bit of an in and away into his work, and then he beat the Illawarra fullback so easily. So it was simply a case of Canterbury pushing the ball out wide, then that long cutout pass, and he comes to the fullback after beating the winger, and O'Brien went in for one of the easiest winger tries that he'll ever score.
This was a well-constructed try by Canterbury. There were two cutout passes. Firstly, that one behind a man's back, and the second one in front of the face of a player. The ball went onto O'Brien. I thought Macklin Shaw probably played into O'Brien's hands. He got flat-footed instead of coming forward to make the tackle on the man. That gave O'Brien enough room to move, and he scored the Bulldogs' second try.
Penalty went to Canterbury against Roberts for making the tackle and then taking the player over the sideline. Kelly has no marker. Blindside rush for Langmack and O'Brien. Again, they make ground off it. O'Brien looks at the line. Langmack will score. Langmack has gone in to score for Canterbury. Well, it's a play that Canterbury used so often. It's simply a decoy going to the open side, and here it seemed to me quite simple that they had 2-on-2, but Les Biles, the man who should have been marking O'Brien, appeared to get lost. The try is scored by Paul Langmack.
Well, what happened? The South Sydney defence was waiting for Canterbury to spread the ball wide on the open side. They didn't do it. They hit that narrow 10 metres right near the sideline. O'Brien made the break after a pass by Langmack. Langmack backed up to take the return pass on the inside and fought his way through the tackle for the 4 points.
7-5, the handling errors. Canterbury.
Play on.
And it is play on, and Hagan gets it away to O'Brien. O'Brien gets around the fullback, and he brushes off Baker, and O'Brien goes in to score for the Bulldogs. That's the ball game. 14 points to 2. So the kick by Lamb was knocked down. Hagan came up with it, gave it immediately to O'Brien. He beat David Cruikshank. He fended off Neil Baker. And from there it was just simply a case of running and putting the ball down.
We saw Canterbury score a try similar to this on Monday night. A good effort by South Sydney to charge the ball down, but then they had no one back to cover it up. It was picked up by Hagan onto O'Brien. I thought he'd go on with it himself here, O'Brien, when he'd beaten the fullback, but the cover defence was able to pick him up. He looked inside after he'd beaten the cover defence, didn't need any further support and did the job on his own.
He's a very fine finisher, this fellow, Steve O'Brien.
Look at this, back to halfway. It's almost unexpected. Well, Tunks. Lamb supporting. Good play by Lamb. The man who never stops backing up. Over the top, the pass to Farah. And they've scored a try. The Bulldogs are in. And it was a good try too. Tunks, Lamb, and finally Farah. And they're on the board at last.
Beautiful play by the prop forward. Watch the pass. Little dummy there. Neat little shift. And one of the few occasions that Lamb has found himself in space, and one of the few occasions he's beaten Brett Kenny today. A long pass out wide, and Andrew Farah can't believe it. Beautiful play. Now watch the little dummy here. Takes it away, fends. Lovely slip of the ball here, and this is you won't see that many times. Beating Brett Kenny. The game's gone, but that's confidence for next week.
Now have got them down in their quarter. They've had them there for the last 5 minutes.
So it's more Langmack from the scrum base, and Langmack goes in for the easiest of tries. Simply the old half-back lock forward 1-2. Canterbury won the scrum from the feed. Mortimer faded to the blind side. Langmack came up on his inside and got the reverse ball. Langmack, the try scorer.
Well, the only man that could have stopped this was Kevin Hardwick, the lock forward for Balmain. He'd come out on the open side. He didn't adjust quickly enough. The second rower on that side was far too slow to get out of the scrum also, and the old chestnut for Canterbury worked.
Infield after this other play of the ball.
Right, he's 10 metres out now. Playing it back to Bugden. 1 1/4 minutes to go. The kick across the ground. Pressure, pressure. It's a try. It's a try for Chris Mortimer.
Canterbury try scored by number 4, Chris Mortimer.
Chris Mortimer has scored for the Bulldogs. 13-4. And right here, I think you may have seen Canterbury make their way to the Winfield Cup Grand Final. I had the feeling that Balmain could go in at 9-4 down and come through as winners here today, but now that task becomes very, very difficult. Russell Gardner got an absolute mongrel of a bounce. He didn't get much room either, Gardner, but he got an awful bounce. Watch it. The moment he went clutching at it, it bounced away from him, and Chris Mortimer said, "Thank you very much, that's what we wanted." So the brothers put it together, the brothers Mortimer.
Got Gale, who again showed that he was prepared to try anything. 12 mistakes in the handling department by Balmain.
4 by Canterbury. Mortimer, he's over! The little Canterbury halfback, Steve Mortimer, from the scrum base, scores right under the black dot. So the ball was fed and won. He came out, and I'm still looking for the Balmain lock forward. I'm looking for a quick break by the second rower. By the time all that happened, Mortimer was off. He was away and scores right in front of the Bradman stand patrons.
Scrums are good positions to attack from, because once you get in behind that defensive line, there's no one home. This was the situation here. Mortimer got in behind them. The second rower and lock for Balmain, slow to come out. And of course, Steve Mortimer, once he gets a side of an opening, that's say goodnight.
For Boyd to give to Sigsworth, now to Dunn. And Dunn gets a ball back inside for Lamb. What a great try. What a try. Scored by little Kerry Lamb. It's almost like the nursery rhyme. Everywhere that somebody went, Baba was sure to follow.
3 teams winning the National Rugby League every year, and that's just wrong.
No, you need teams playing footy like the Melbourne Storm play to get more money when you next do a broadcast rights deal, so you can pay the players more.
The biggest
it's a
problem,
classic chicken and egg.
The biggest problem with the alternatives is that it all comes down to money and the amount of money that clubs have got to spend, and at the moment they're not getting enough out of the TV deal. And if we can get more, then the salary cap can go up, then the players can be paid more, and then
what is it, about 25%? Is it like the AFL? Or
no, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
I think that you'll find that the next TV deal will be the biggest single TV deal the NRL's ever done, and put it certainly on a plane with the AFL, up nearer to the AFL than it ever has been. And also, that's why we need Melbourne, because you need a national competition, and certainly to involve Melbourne to keep that TV rights value up.
How militant would the players be on this, Brad, to push the salary cap well beyond the 4.1 million? And are their agents considering advising players to threaten